One of the most important things in DayZ is maintaining your wellness. One wrong move can quickly lead to disaster. However, that doesn't necessarily mean you need medicines to stay well. And although I'd never encourage you to believe any medicines are without their benefits, there is a minimalist approach that can render them somewhat unnecessary. And if you're struggling to find them, this video might just be the thing you need. If you like the video or find it helpful, please leave a like or a subscribe. It genuinely helps me out. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Yes, that is in fact my dog snoring. This might feel almost counterproductive for the channel that tries so hard to help people survive, but I'll elaborate more on why I feel this video was necessary nearer the end. First of all, starting off big with one of the items you don't actually need, it's tetracycline. This antibiotic is probably seen as the most useful medicine there is. Many people want to look for tetracycline above most things. I always recommend people find it above most things because it can cure the majority of the most common afflictions, including infections, cholera, colds, and the flu. But all of these things listed are mostly self-inflicted health problems. If you don't drink unclean or tainted water, you can avoid cholera completely. If you keep warm, well-fed, and social distance from ill players, you can avoid colds and flus completely. And infections can be prevented by just not using non-disinfected items to heal with or letting it clot on its own. These three simple things are all highly preventable with minimal effort, rendering tetracycline as nothing more than a correction for an oversight. However, one of the useful items and non-medicines that you absolutely must have are bandages. These can not only stop blood loss but can prevent infections. By keeping bandages on you, you don't have to worry about these things again, and you'll need no further action after applying non-damaged bandages to your wounds. Using bandages as a result renders disinfectants useless too, which is another treatment marked off the list. The same can be said about the usefulness of charcoal pills. Used to treat salmonella and chemical poisoning, they are again a corrective medication. As long as you don't eat with bloodied hands, eat raw, burned or rotten food, drink liquids such as gasoline, or engage in the festivities of unknown food cans, you'll never need to use one. The only real use from them becomes their ability to refill filters. Furthermore, filling your stomach to the point of vomiting can prevent chemical poisoning from setting in, all medication free. Now let's add a useful item to the list. That again is technically not medication, it's a blood bag. This is necessary because you can lose huge amounts of blood in ways that are out of your control, whether being ambushed and knocked out or just taking multiple shots and bleeding quickly. This is something that is completely out of your control. Plus, although there are many warning signs for dynamic toxic zones, it can sometimes be impossible to see daytime warnings of pending attacks. So if you do get hit and suffer toxic poisoning, a bag of clean compatible blood will solve the issue, whereas a saline bag is incapable of doing the last one. And by using a blood bag, you render pox antidotes in any form unnecessary as well. Then we have another useful item for the list, a splint. This is simple. Again, being shot, receiving explosive or trap damage, or sometimes glitching down a hill can break bones, a thing that's mostly completely out of your control. So keeping a splint on you, or at least the base items to build one, will allow you to walk again. Meaning so far the three items you need are bandages, a blood bag, and a splint, and not a single one of them is medication. Furthering this, if you were so inclined to add multivitamins to the list, is still not technically medication, the dietary supplements. But I'm not going to focus on other medical related things like vitamins, codeine, EpiPens, and so on because they technically don't cure anything. Now, it's extremely important to note this video is not meant to deter you from collecting medication or to undermine the value of a good backup plan. Far from it, especially considering you can't account for every eventuality. Its purpose is to help you rethink your approach to health, healing, and prevention, to take more precaution before you get ill, and hopefully helping to tackle the reliance on medications some people tend to have. So don't throw away tetracycline just yet, but one of the absolute best things you can do to not need medication is to stay well and alive, and to do that you can click on these tips right here that'll tell you everything you need to know. And as always, until next time.